Well, I gave her a little bit of a power wash this morning. I threw some grease on all the pins, put all new Zert fittings on her. I think we're ready to put her to work. We're loaded up. We're ready to go. Let's do this. Don't know that I'll get any video of what I'm doing with it, but maybe next week. This is going to be a short video this week. All right, guys, you know that the Bobcat's done. We stripped out about 2 inches of stone, and we went ahead and donated that to the neighbor. And then we went and got 2 inches of stone and put in here. I still want to strip that out there, get that down a little bit. And I am short right here. I'm a little low there and there. We got a new gazebo. The old gazebo is in here. Today I was cutting grass, trying to get it cut between the raindrops and the sweat beads. And we developed a problem. Yeah, got a leak somewhere. So what we're gonna do now, I have this thing up on jack stands. Nothing's touching the ground. Gonna fire it up and see where this leak's at. Here we go. All right, guys, looks like we have a motor that's bad. So we're gonna disconnect those lines, unbolt everything, and take this thing apart. All right, guys, battery's almost dead. Just turned the fan off so you could hear me. As you've seen in the time lapse, man, I tried everything and nothing ever works out the way it should. It's not good video, that's for sure, but we got the motor out. Actually, it was YouTube that helped me. I put that puller on there, and that was a solid puller, not like the other 3 pullers that I had on there. This one actually bolts to the flange. So I tightened it up, as you can see, and I as long as I could, and it just wasn't budging. So I went in, sure enough, turned on YouTube, looked up 0-turn hydraulic motor, and guy showed just about the same thing that I was doing. The only difference is once he tightened that up, he whacked the shit out of it with a BFH, a big hammer. And that's what I did. I came out here, tightened it up, and I just started whacking it. Sure enough, it popped right off. We were able to get the 4 bolts off. The motor's out. It's over here on the workbench. Let's go take a look at it. As I said, the battery's almost dead here. Yeah, nothing's wet. Actually, when it was on the mower, it looked like it was leaking from this area. The only thing that's really wet, let me hit the screen here. Oh, the screen don't want to come on. Oh, there it is. The only thing that really looks wet is around these bolts. So not sure. We're going to throw a little air on it and spin it, see if we can find a leak somewhere. But in any case, we got the part number. We're on our way in. We're going to get on eBay, see if we can't find one. You know, there's an old saying that says, you don't have to be the sharpest tool in the shed. So last night, we went in the house and we started to edit that video for Sunday. And in doing so, I got thinking, I thought, man, you know, something just don't seem right here. So I came out in the garage, went through my junk drawer, and here's what I came up with. Just by luck, I had a fitting that fits on this flare, and it goes to male iron pipe. I put that on a bushing, screwed that onto a ball valve, and that is the only ball valve that I have in that junk drawer. From that point, I went ahead and got my air chuck, stuck it in here real tight, pressurized this unit, looked for any kind of hydraulic oil leaking out, didn't see any, thought, well, let's just check something else. So then I went over to the grass cutter, and the two lines that come out and hook into that motor, just by dumb luck, the valve on the M610 for the auxiliary was bad. So I took the auxiliary lines off and capped the auxiliary ports on the valve. In doing so, I kept the two plugs that were in my auxiliary line, and wouldn't you know, direct match. At that point, and just take you back over here, this one is loose as well. I loosened that up so that'll turn. That actually goes back in here. But as you can see, I put a plug in here, and then the other line that feeds the motor, I put this plug in there. When I started the mower up, sure enough, it was pushing oil out behind the nut. So I went ahead and did that same test over here, and I know I'm doing a lot of running around here. Let's grab this piece here, because this is the actual tube that is leaking. And if you look, this has like a long flare nut. That has a short flare nut. I'm not sure why, but I went ahead and I hooked this up, tightened it up, pressurized here, and sure enough, it was leaking air around that nut. So I don't know if I have a split in the line or if I just have a nut that doesn't want to seat up against there, but in any case, this is where my problem is. Called the local lawnmower shop that sold me the mower 22 years ago. It is obsolete, no longer available. So I guess we're gonna have to go to our hydraulic shop and get a hose made up. All right, guys, that's how a redneck fixes it. So the other line came over, bent, went back, bent. That line is obsolete. I went and got a hole saw. It's over there in that drill. Drilled a hole big enough to get this fitting through there. This is just a hydraulic hose with a protective sleeve over it to keep it from chafing on that metal. And we almost drilled it too far that way, as you can see, but it was good enough. We got it in there, and it lined up well enough I could get the nut started. So now it's just a matter of putting this hub back on here and putting that nut on there, that cotter key on there. Hopefully the nut will go on there. I did beat that up with a hammer a little bit. Typical redneck stuff. You got to do that or else you're not redneck. Beat the shit out of the threads or whatever you got to do. But for $80, we got it fixed. It's not leaking. I'm going to check it again here in a little bit. Hopefully it won't get into the wheel and rub the wheel. So yeah. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a little bit of the clip when I was taking the nut off of the spindle, and I'm going to zoom in and you will actually see the nut leaking in the video that I processed last night. So after I came out here and did all this and figured it out that it was this nut, I went and watched the video that I had already edited, and sure enough, you can see this nut leaking. Here we go.